Welcome back. Our next segment that we'll talk about in black culture is the stand-up comedian or comic. Now, most people don't understand what a stand-up comedian or comic is. Basically, a stand-up comedian or comic is a person who stands on a stage with one mic, maybe a stool to sit down, but basically, they walk back and forth a stage in a room full of people, usually in a hall, a big hall, or a club, or someplace where they're performing for a group of people, trying to make the crowd laugh, using different segments that happen in life. Maybe a girlfriend situation, a family situation, or just a situation you're having right there. So, but you must understand, a stand-up comedian is very intelligent because you have to use your mind in this segment. Basically, when a stand-up comedian has to be on his toes for anything. Basically, one of the greatest stand-up comedians that I've known back in the day were my man, Bernie Mac. Now, before Bernie Mac got there were other stand-up comedians who've paved the way. One of them was Red Fox. Another great one was Bill Cosby. One of my other favorites was also Richard Pryor. And also, maybe many of you remember Eddie Murphy, very famous comic. Now, these comics used to go into a big hall, an auditorium with thousands of people surrounding them and telling the most hilarious jokes ever heard. And as I said, begin using different segments that maybe happen in life. Whereas I said, Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy use profanity and funny segments to make their point known. Whereas Bill Cosby used family issues to make comedy. Which my favorite comic, Bernie Mac, used both profanity and family issues and put them together to make a more very comical situation. Now, don't misunderstand. When we're talking about comedy here, they're talking about segments that happen in life to them, or maybe something that's happening at that present time. And taking that situation and getting the audience to also say, oh my God, that happened to me. Oh, I know that. That's so funny. Yes, it happened to me one time like that before as well. So, taking the interest of the crowd and finding what they may be able to relate to. So it makes it seem like, oh my goodness, my friend had that same situation happen. How funny is that? But a stand-up comedian is very intelligent, as I said before, because you need a lot of material and you must be on point to be able to make any situation sound very hilarious. So, stand-up comedians are entertainers, one mic, a stage that they walk back and forth over, and a crowd of people making everyone laugh. Do you got it? Good. Who knows, maybe one day you will be one. Until later, see you.